Good evening, I'm Neil Walker and this is Nightline. Tonight, white South Africa appears to have overwhelmingly voted to share power with the country's black majority. Also tonight, we talk with little Eve van Graaphorst, still battling despite fading health. And the Young Guns lost to Pakistan in the World Cup assures New Zealand a semi-final place on home territory. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, white South Africans have said yes to democracy. Votes are still being counted in the whites-only referendum on democratic reform, but it's clear President de Klerk has the mandate he sought to continue power-sharing talks with leaders of the black majority.
Africa's white electorate has said yes to constitutional reform that will mean sharing power with blacks in the cabinet within months and ultimately black majority government. When the polling stations closed last night, it was clear that there had been a heavy response. The much talked about apathy turned into something like a 70% turnout. That's bound to have damaged the right-wing conservative cause. With apartheid now history, the appetite for racial segregation and the certainty of civil war had the no vote prevailed was clearly limited to a minority. Not that defeat today will silence them. F.W. de Klerk will celebrate his birthday today. He's 56, and he will celebrate referendum victory. But one of the lessons of the past 3 weeks' campaign is that the state of South Africa's economy, widespread violence and uncertainty about precisely what will emerge from political reform has left the president with absolutely no room for complacency.
The referendum may signal the end of apartheid, but it will not see an end to the violence in South Africa. Reporter John Harrison backgrounds the likely consequences.
I think we will see violence, continuing violence in the townships where black groups are competing for political control. And I think also we will see a backlash from the hard right, impatient with the idea of negotiating with the likes of Nelson Mandela. I think that their pursuit of what they call an independent homeland for the white nation is something they won't let go very easily. They talk about the Afrikaner having fought before and predicting that they will fight again for what they really do believe is theirs by right. So I think the prospect for South Africa is grim. I think there is some hope for President de Klerk because he did lay his reputation on the line in this referendum. He said he would resign if he lost it. I think that there will be great impatience for those amongst those who may be wavering if the right did resort to violence. But I think violence is a certainty.
The condition of little Eve van Graaphorst is deteriorating. Doctors fear she's suffering the early effects of brain damage through the failure of drugs to contain the AIDS virus from which she suffers.
What's in there?
My brush.
She can still manage a cheeky smile for the camera and appear light-hearted when she speaks of the things making her life a misery.
Tummy bug, hernia, runny nose, sore eyes, earaches.
But speak to Eve for a few moments and you realise how much she's deteriorated.
It's really hard for me to get better because I'm such a little girl and I'm always losing weight and it's not like me anymore.
No longer the bright, spirited young girl who kicked up her heels in Disneyland and threw round her arms to raise money for AIDS just a few weeks ago. It's this loss of vivaciousness, the slowing of her responses, that most concerns Dr. Richard Meach.
We know that dementia in advanced stages of HIV disease is a possibility, and it remains possible that this can be the early stages of brain damage caused by the virus that we might be looking at.
Dr. Meach is now hoping to stall the symptoms with a revolutionary combination of drugs, AZT and DDC, a treatment that's had limited success in overseas trials.
When I was little, it didn't used to frighten me at all, but now it does. I realise what the virus does.
Eve, at last, coming to terms with the seriousness of her disease.
If I die, I'll still be special in God.
It will be 3 to 4 months before doctors know if her new treatment is working. Janet McIntyre in Napier, 3 National News.
In other local news tonight, a Taranaki couple have been sent to the High Court for trial on charges of disciplining their children with a stun gun. They're jointly charged with ill-treating 4 children. The husband also faces sex charges. Stun guns deliver a sharp electrical shock. They can cause severe pain and burns. They're restricted weapons, but one has become a crucial exhibit in this child abuse case. Today, a 10-year-old boy testified from behind a screen. He told the court his father regularly used the zapper on the children. The couple have been remanded on bail for a High Court trial next month. At Parliament today, the government launched a new environmental choice label to help shoppers buy the right products. Australia's Environment Minister was at the launch. It's likely the label system will be used on both sides of the Tasman. The chips were frying today at an Auckland takeaway bar that's hooked the title of New Zealand's best fish and chip shop. Gloria's fast food cafe in Devonport took the award from 34 other shops, nominated by 100,000 fish and chip fans.
Oh, fish is lovely, always fresh. Chips are cooked just beautifully. Service is brilliant.
Make nice wedges too with mayonnaise, bloody good.
And art buffs, beware. If someone offers to sell you a leather portrait like this, don't buy. It could be part of a $6,000 haul stolen yesterday from an art gallery in Kerikeri. It wasn't actually diesel and dust, but an Auckland granny turned truckie to make a lifelong wish come true today. 66-year-old Betty Webb has always envied the big rigs on the road, but never dreamed of driving one until a radio station handed her the keys.
You know how everybody has a fantasy and they want to do something stupid.
They say all power corrupts, and Betty proved no exception.
Get out of my way!
14 gears, 3 sets of brakes, and 2.5 times the usual number of wheels under her didn't worry Betty in the least. And while she might not make an immediate career move to the open road, at least Betty's proved her truckability.
You know, I thought, well, that's cool. I'll get to sit in it and be taken for a drive. That is amazing. It's so easy. Lovely. Very nice. Fantasy has materialised.
Marty McNamara, 3 National News.